How do I 40F support my husband 50M after he did something dumb? I guess the title sounds harsh, but I am kind of struggling with this. My husband and I have been together for 5 years. We also work for the same company and carpool to and from work a lot. Our young child is in daycare at our office, so it's the three of us arriving and leaving together most days. Maybe relevant. My husband left his laptop on top of my car yesterday when we left work. Despite me suggesting so many times that he get a case, and also that he does not set his computer on top of the car, he does this every single day. Probably once a week, he can't find his computer and panics that he left it on top of the car. It's usually in the back seat or something. But this time, the dreaded thing actually happened. When we got home last night, he couldn't find the computer and was panicking that he left it on the car. I assured him it was probably still sitting on his desk at work, but when it wasn't there this morning, he had security check the cameras and sure enough, we'd pulled out of the parking deck with it on the roof. To make things a million times worse, he's been working on a /huge /complex spreadsheet for months, and despite the fact that our company migrated all files to SharePoint over a year ago, he told me today that he had his spreadsheet saved on the desktop. Since the cloud migration, you actually have to work to save something locally on your computer. I love my husband, and I know he is absolutely beyond devastated about losing all of his hard work. I want to hug him and tell him I love him, and it will all be okay. But I also want to slap him because, dude, WTF. You did not one, but two insanely dumb things, and this is your punishment. Overall, I'm a nice person, so I won't say, I told you so. Instead, I'll just be there to comfort him. But wow, what would you do if you were me and your partner was extremely depressed over their own poor choices? Too long did not read. Husband made 2 bad decisions that lost him months of work. I'm torn between comforting him and wanting to smack some sense into him. Unsure how to approach this. He feels bad enough. I wouldn't pour salt into his wounds, but I wouldn't baby him either. He FAFO. How he's feeling RN is the punishment. I wouldn't add on to it. If someone did that to me, I would view them differently. You don't have to comfort him over ignoring your common sense advice multiple times. Let him learn to self-soothe. I, 28 female, need advice on how to deal with my unfunny coworker 40 male. I know this sounds harsh, but I, 28 female, share a role with my coworker 40 male, and I truly am starting to get annoyed at how often I have to pretend to laugh at his jokes. It's not that the jokes are inappropriate or rude, it's just straight up cringe. Talking with him is like reading a BuzzFeed article from 2012 with common words and phrases including sure Jan, adulting saying hashtag, before words and unironically quoting mean girls multiple times a day, every day. He always looks to me to laugh at his jokes, and I just can't find it in me to laugh anymore because it's 10-20 times a day. He is fairly nice, we wouldn't be friends outside of work, though he sends me 3-5 Instagram reels a day that I don't respond to, but can be combative or defensive, so I don't know how to get him to catch the hint that his jokes aren't landing or imply it some other way. I've tried recently to engage with his jokes less, not looking at him and just smiling, or just pretending I don't get the reference, but it's persisting. I know this may come across as being miserable, but sitting 5 feet from someone who constantly makes jokes I don't think are funny is driving me nuts. I don't want to hurt his feelings, but need help on shifting this dynamic back to more professional. Any advice is appreciated. You can't police someone being cringe in the workplace. I don't know anyone who doesn't have at least one annoying colleague. Myself included. This is just the nature of workplaces. You can ask him to stop sending you reels, though. Unironically quoting mean girls multiple times a day, every day. So just tell him to stop trying to make fetch happen. I worked with someone who made the same jokes over and over, and another coworker told him in a joking way, "You need to get some new material." The jokes didn't stop, but I actually laughed at that one. I, 32M, gave my partner, 26F, a second chance after a major trust breach and discovered she never stopped. I am currently considering ending a 3-year relationship after my partner kept sharing our private conflicts and letting her family degrade me. Me, 32M, and my partner, 26F, have been together for almost 3 years. I'm trying to sanity check myself, because emotionally this has hit me very hard. My partner and I had a major conflict around Christmas that almost ended our relationship. A big part of that conflict was that she had been sharing very private details of our arguments with her brother and a close friend. Her brother, in particular, has a long history of disrespecting me, mocking me, and actively undermining our relationship from afar. I often felt like there was a third, malicious voice forcing itself into the relationship, and she enabled it. After Christmas, we reconciled, but only under very clear conditions that I explicitly stated and she agreed to. Our conflicts would no longer be taken outside the relationship. She would set boundaries with her brother if he spoke disrespectfully about me. I would not be exposed to or dragged into family hostility anymore. I reopened myself and gave the relationship another chance based on those assurances. Recently, I discovered that the opposite had been happening the entire time. She continued to share screenshots of our private conversations, allowed her brother's insults and mockery to escalate, and did not set any boundaries at all. In one instance, he joked about playing music to drown out my screaming, and her response was playful. "Oh, you're mean," not defensive. I was never told any of this while we were trying to rebuild trust. On top of that, I found messages where she portrayed me to her friend as a lazy, immature man who doesn't help around the house and just plays video games, which is the complete opposite of reality. I work full-time and carry most of the household responsibilities. Seeing myself misrepresented like that was deeply humiliating. What hurts most is that I agreed to reconciliation based on conditions that were knowingly not being honored. I feel like my trust wasn't just broken, it was used. She is now extremely remorseful, crying, apologizing, saying she didn't know how else to cope and needed someone to talk to. But from my perspective, this wasn't a single mistake, it was repeated, hidden, and happened after explicit agreements. Emotionally, this feels similar to betrayal. I no longer feel safe or respected in the relationship. Where do I go from here? Where do you go from here? You honor and respect yourself by removing people who don't from your life. Yeah, end it, mate. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You gave a second chance. She blew it. What would be different this time? My 39F boyfriend 44M insists on throwing whatever he wants in our toilet. Too long did not read. Boyfriend constantly throws unflushable items in toilet, even when the outcome is bad. Refuses to believe me that you should only throw toilet paper in the toilet. This is literally making me want to scream. We bought a house together a few years ago. All his life I guess he had strong plumbing and threw everything in the toilet. Food, paper towels, garbage, you name it. I was raised never to do this. Our toilet cannot take this type of abuse. The plunger is constantly out. I thought he would be able to connect his actions to these toilet clogs, but he seems to willfully refuse to accept he is causing these problems. I have showed him articles and videos as to why you can only throw toilet paper in the toilet, and now this discussion literally causes a fight. There is a garbage can beside the toilet, and he still will throw used tissues in the toilet. I found wet wipes hidden near the toilet, and know he is using them. Despite me asking him repeatedly not to throw these items in the toilet, he is still doing it. Last night we had a clog that overflowed and flooded our bathroom. It was absolutely disgusting, and he tried to use all my nice towels to clean it up. This is driving me insane. How do I explain that you cannot throw anything but toilet paper in the toilet? Damn, 44 years old and dumber than a 10 years old. Though I guess you did choose to stay with him and even buy a house with him. Dump him, problem solved. He's an idiot, and he doesn't listen to you. You're better off without him. Move out. You can plunge a clogged toilet, but you can't fix stupid.